Over the weekend, a landmark court ruling is going to change the future of college athletics as we know it. I think change it for the positive here. I'm not going to bore you with all the legal mumbo jumbo. I got a few bullet points, nuts and bolts. I want to tell you what you need to know, what you can expect to see for the future of college athletics starting in just a few weeks. That's right. These changes are going to be very quickly implemented. I want to give you two takeaways here as well in terms of the future of college sports and how it impacts us, most importantly, the fans. Okay, so in case you haven't been paying attention, and I don't blame you because it's all boring legal stuff and it's confusing, here are the nuts and bolts. Here's what you need to know about how college athletics changed over the weekend because of this court ruling. Starting July 1st, a few weeks from now, schools now are going to be allowed to pay their own athletes. Now, there's a salary cap, essentially, it's what's been set. Every school can spend up to $20.5 million per year on all their athletes. Now, there's no rules about how you have to divvy up that money. It can be all for football, it could be all for basketball, it could spread out across the 30 sports you have. There's no rules about how you have to spend that money. The only rule is you cannot surpass the $20.5 million number here for 2025. It's essentially, again, a salary cap. But just like professional sports who have salary caps, that number is expected to grow every single year. The money's coming from predominantly TV revenue and ticket sales. So schools now are going to, for the first time ever, be allowed to pay their players directly. Now, even though this is happening, NIL is not dead. Very much alive. Still an important part here of college athletics. Players still will be allowed to sign NIL deals on top of getting paid from their respective school. Last thing you need to know, the court also created a college sports commission whose main goal is to try to stop the pay for play that's been happening between boosters and players. They're going to try to curb that and make it, I guess, a more fair and equitable market when it comes to recruiting and when it comes to the transfer portal here as well. You can't just have these rich boosters writing $1 million checks to get every great player to their team. So they're trying to bring parity. They're trying to bring some sort of organization to college athletics. And that now is what you can expect to see in college sports moving forward, again, starting as quickly as July 1st. Two big takeaways here and how it impacts us going forward. Number one, from a fan, right? From one fan to you, another fan listening and watching. This is, I think, good for us because it takes the financial responsibility away from us of having to support our favorite players and favorite schools, right? It's crazy that up until this point, every single dollar a player made came from me, came from you, came from some collective, came from a corporation, right? It was all fan driven. And that's ridiculous because a lot of these schools, especially if you're a fan of a team in the Big Ten or the SEC, each school is getting about $60 million per year from TV alone. And none of that was going to the players. None of it. They're getting all this money. And then at the same time, trying to push us towards collectives to give us $1,000 so we can help, keep our favorite quarterback on our roster. Or we need this transfer portal. We need this recruit. Let's get the collective going. Let's have another fundraiser so we can raise the money to get this guy to our school. Crazy. Like, thinking about it, ridiculous. So now, thankfully, most of, or at least the majority, because again, NIL is still around, still alive, but the majority of NIL, or majority of, I should say, of players' compensation is coming now from the school. So there's less financial onus on you and I to support our favorite players. I think that's good, again, with how expensive flights are, tickets are, merch is. I mean, hell, all these different, subscription channels or cable to watch our favorite teams. It's crazy. It's never been more expensive just to watch our team from afar, let alone go and enjoy it in person. So any break we can get financially is good for you and I. I think we're getting some sort of break here in terms of less financial responsibility on us to finance our favorite teams. But there's a bigger takeaway here. Here's the second one I want to give you. Because I think this court ruling gets us one step closer to the ultimate goal in college athletics, and that is collective bargaining. Because what collective bargaining does is, I think, end the Wild West nature that is right now college athletics. Right? There are no rules. One of the biggest problems with college sports overall is that we've gone from one extreme to the other, where before this new era we're in, right? All the schools, the coaches, the conferences, the NCAA had all the power, players had none. Then all of a sudden, in the drop of a hat, players now had all the power. They could hold schools hostage. They can transfer whenever they want to. They're demanding all this money. And now schools and the NCAA couldn't do anything. It's been one side or the other, two extremes. Collective bargaining is what happens in every professional sport where the players have 50% of the power, the executives, the owners, whatever it may be, have the other 50%. It's equal, right? As you try to negotiate deals and terms for the rules that are in place. 50-50, each side's on equal footing. That has never been the case in college sports, but I think now this ruling gets us one step closer to where we can rein in right now the transfer portal that's wild. Maybe, rein in NIL and just make it, again, more equitable, or at least more fair and more consistent across the board instead of the richest man wins. The biggest reason why we haven't gotten there yet, and the reason why it's been one extreme or the other in college sports, unlike pro sports, which are down the middle in terms of power, is because for the most part, schools, conferences, the NCAA still refuse to acknowledge players are professionals, which is the biggest load of garbage ever. They are pro athletes. Like, what? The quicker we acknowledge that, the quicker we can get a solution, which is collective bargaining, get these players a union, start, negotiating with whatever executives in college football and college basketball want to, are on the other side here. Split the revenue 50-50. And let's go. Let's start making some rules and bring some organization and stability to a sport and sports that we love. That's all we're asking for here. That's what collective bargaining does. Brings consistency and stability right now to what is, in college athletics, the Wild West. Now, this is going to come as a shock because I have some firsthand experience here in terms of players being pro athletes, right? Because there's been a debate like this for a while. Schools will tell you, no, they're just amateurs. They're student athletes, students first. And there's a lot of you that if you disagree with NIL and you don't think players should be paid, your big argument is, well, they're on scholarship. They're getting a free education. Now you look at tuitions all across the country. It's, hundreds of thousands of dollars that students are coming out with after 4 years of debt that athletes don't have, right? If you're on a full ride, you don't have that. You get a free degree. And a lot of you think, or maybe some of you think I should say, that's enough. Here's why I disagree with that. Here's why these players should be viewed as professionals. And again, why the quicker we get there, the better everything is, and why a scholarship is just not enough. So it's going to come as a shock, but me and my frame, my 5'11", 170 frame, was not good enough to play football at Penn State. I know, shocker. I actually tried out for Penn State's team, tried to run on. Dropped a pass in front of Bill O'Brien, hit him in the foot. Let's just say he threw some daggers through me. I never recovered, never came close to making it. So I don't have this perspective from my firsthand athlete view, but despite not being able to make the team, I did work in the athletic department. And I was able to see kind of firsthand how the sausage was made and interact with a lot of players and coaches and kind of see behind the scenes. And for those that think a scholarship is enough, here's why it's not. You may get a free education, but the education you're getting is not the one you want, in the sense of everything around a athlete's daily schedule is centered around practice, not academics. So if you do me a favor, after this video, go to your favorite school's website, go to the roster, look at the majors listed for all the teams, for all the players, I should say. You're going to notice about 3 or 4 majors that predominantly these 100 athletes are taking. The reason is because they are funneled into majors that work around the practice schedule. So if you have a morning practice schedule and you want to be a scientist, let's say, and you go to whatever school to be a scientist, well, if those science classes you need to take are in the morning and practice in the morning, you know what you're not going to be? A scientist. So here's a general education course in the afternoon that works well, that's easy, that's online, that, hey, look, the professor kind of knows the deal. He'll let you through. You have to do all the homework, just show up a few times, you'll be okay. That's what happens more times than not. That's the ugly truth that people don't want you to understand that actually goes on there. You may be getting a free education, but more times than not, that diploma does not mean much. It is not useful for the career you want to pursue. And for the 99% of college athletes that do not make it pro, you graduate, sure, the piece of paper and no debt, but maybe not the experience you need to get in the field you actually want. You want to be a doctor and be a lacrosse player, you got to choose. And most likely, if you're on full scholarship, lacrosse comes first. Doctor, you got to hold on to. So that's why I think players getting paid and being able to capitalize on their likeness now, when you could argue most of them at their peak of earning potential and peak popularity, is 100% right. But I also agree, while saying players deserve to get paid, that the system we have right now is flawed. It shouldn't all the power should not be in the players' hands. They should not be able to hold coaches and schools hostage, transfer whenever they want, sign these big time deals, and then just leave all of a sudden as well. Like, there needs to be stability. That stability comes in the form of collective bargaining. And I think now this court ruling, as schools can pay players directly for the first time, gets us one step closer. Remember, it's college athletics, right? Everything moves so slowly. So we're not going to go from overnight now, the Wild West to competency. It's a slow process. We got to crawl there. We're crawling. But at least I think for the first time in a long time, we are crawling in the right direction where you at least can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel of maybe there is some competency and stability coming back to college sports. That's the big thing that I think you need to know coming out of this court ruling that changes the way college athletics kind of run moving forward. Stability, consistency, competency, entering college athletics for the first time because now schools can pay players. All right. I'm excited for it. I think it's, again, good for college athletics, especially college football. If you disagree, want more info, please comment below. I feel like I'm decently well read on this. I've spent way more time than I'd like to admit on it. So if you have any more questions, still confused, please comment below. Try to get, answer any of your questions you have as well. Love to hear it. And if this is the first time watching the channel, appreciate you. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe here. We got college football content coming all your ways. We get ready for the 2025 season. Make sure you follow on Twitter, Ryan_Hickey3. Follow, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, The Ryan Hickey Show. We'll chat with you then.